Hello, one person watching. That was quite quick. As quick as my old account, my main account that has now received a strike. It can't be zero, Dr. Mengele, when I have you in the chat. You, my most loyal subscriber, whom I know is probably the first one every time I go live, so I thank you very much. So now I will talk about China's social credit system. And what sparked this off is the fact that a few people have been discussing the nature of heaven and hell and eternal damnation and how do we know how our good and evil is properly measured in order to be properly rewarded and punished. And if God did have a system, I do wonder if it will resemble the China social credit system. And now I've got an article about it, and it looks quite well researched. So China's social credit system is a set of databases that keep up-to-date information on the behavior of individuals, corporations, and governmental entities across China. The social credit system has some similarities with credit ratings provided for individuals and corporations in other countries, but captures information on a wider variety of behaviors. The goal of the China social credit system is to provide a holistic assessment of an individual or a company's trustworthiness based on a numerical score. The China social credit system, while still in development, is arguably an extension of existing social rankings and ratings in China, which have existed for millennia. The consequences of a poor social credit score could be serious. It may affect travel prospects, employment, access to finance, and the ability to enter into contracts. On the other hand, a positive credit score would make a range of business transactions for individuals and corporations much easier. It is essential that any foreign business consolidating or establishing their presence in China seek professional advice for managing a social credit score. So foreign businesses in China would also be subject to this regime. The China social credit system establishes a unified record system for people, businesses, and the government. So the government also assesses itself. It does this by seeking to track and evaluate standards of trustworthiness and merit. The result is a social credit score built on the individual, corporate, and government behavior monitored in real time. I think this is an excellent idea. Why is the viewer count back to 0 again? And I know Dr. Mengele has been posting in the chat. I don't understand these things. To continue, business owners who operate in China or seek to do so need to maintain a thorough understanding of this system and how it can impact their business. At present, taking part in both the private and government versions of the China social credit system is still voluntary. However, in the future, the official social credit system will become mandatory. That being said, there is clearly significant pressure to take part in the system now. Below, we explain what the Chinese social credit system is, how it works, and what its potential implications for businesses may be. Quick facts about the China social credit system. The introduction of a united China social credit system was formally announced in 2014, but preliminary versions of the system have existed on a regional level since 2009. Precursors to the proposed social credit system have operated within China for centuries, arguably millennia. The idea or philosophy behind social credit might be traced back to the warring periods of Chinese history. At that time, various schools of thought competed for dominance. Confucianism. Confucius, 551 to 479 BCE, advocated a holistic conception of human nature where individual well-being was connected to good character and the proper functioning of society as a whole. Mohism, Mozi, 470 BC to 391 BCE, suggested that all humans should care for each other equally and advocated a society where all were treated impartially. Legalism, approximately 400 to 300 BC. This school emphasized the importance of laws strictly enforced from above in order to preserve social order. Though arguably legalism won out, all three of these schools influenced the first imperial Qin dynasty, 221 to 206 BC. It is within this dynasty that a meritocratic assessment and promotion system that was applied across the imperial bureaucracy in order to achieve a well-functioning Chinese state. Arguably, this was a rudimentary social credit system, albeit one applied only to civil servants and without a precise score. Sorry, I shouldn't keep reading my notifications, but I'm getting a few of them now. Well, it appears that I am being threatened by con-ops. Well, if my channel goes, then his entertainment also goes. So, what's he going to do? I'll pop up somewhere else. Where was I? In more recent times, public record systems have been developed to record the behavior and actions of ordinary individuals. For example, the Dangan and Hukou provide proper records of both individual citizens and households in China that allow the government to manage society in a way the government deems beneficial. A key proposed benefit of the new unified social credit system is that instead of relying on a paper record to manage society, the electronically integrated system will expedite the analysis process and make oversight easier. While many elements of social credit system are already operational, the goal was to provide a fully functional system, enabling the ranking of all Chinese citizens and businesses by the end of 2020. Full implementation has been delayed due to the impact of COVID-19. Currently, businesses are being categorized based on their compliance standards as well as their audit and financial records. More than 33 million businesses in China have already been given a score under some version of the corporate social credit system. Because the Chinese social credit system is still in the process of being implemented, there are regional variations. Some city councils run the system in certain regions, while other areas base scores on data held by private technology platforms. What is the China social credit system? The China social credit system, also known as a China's ranking system, uses so-called big data to monitor and assess trustworthiness. The goal is to construct a high-trust society which rewards individuals and companies for following the law. As well as regional variations, there are distinct social credit systems for citizens, businesses, and government officials. Yeah, I didn't know government officials would also be given it. There are also voluntary trial versions being run by private companies. The goal is for social credit scores to make it easier for people and businesses to make fully informed business decisions. A high social credit score will be an indicator that the other party can be trusted in a business context. Officials hope that the China social credit system to work similarly to the system of credit scores dominant in English-speaking countries. Many consider that a lack of easily available credit information in China has made it difficult for banks and other creditors to assess credit worthiness. To date, the corporate social credit system is focused on legal compliance and legal violations, including tax matters and credit information. However, it is expected that in the future, the social credit system will capture additional information, including product and service quality. The corporate social credit system focuses on whether businesses comply with laws and regulations and pay their taxes when assigning a score to business. Product and service quality is also likely to be factored into a business's score soon. That sounds fine to me. So, am I just reading the... Okay, it's not just about businesses. How does a China social credit system work? The China social credit system assigns a score based on the aggregation and analysis of data. This information is acquired from a range of sources, including individual businesses, including big tech and government entities. This information is then kept in a centralized database. This is all businesses. I'm not really interested in that. I really want... Okay, we know about travel bans, school bans, reduced employment prospects, increased scrutiny, public shaming. Yeah, I guess I'm just talking about how it would be based on conformity to Quranic principles. So if an individual with a poor social credits rating opens a business may automatically begin with a low social credit score. Some of the more trivial score-lowering actions include an individual not visiting their parents on a frequent basis, jaywalking, walking a dog without putting it on a leash, smoking in a non-smoking zone, cheating on online video games. Some have questioned whether some of these activities and behaviours are bad enough to merit the penalties that result from a low social credit score. Well, telling lies would be a start, wouldn't it? Telling lies. I would say not being able to follow principles. The minimum principles one expects decent people to follow would be telling the truth, exercising logic, and obeying the 7 Noahide laws. And being prepared to discuss them, of course. It typically takes 2 to 5 years to be successfully removed from a blacklist. Well, I can't say I have anything in principle against these ideas. Sharing anti-government ideologies, well, that would violate the principle of no compulsion and belief. So, and sharing anti-government ideologies, that's an interesting one. I suppose it would have to be that, well, there would have to be reasons given for being anti-government, and they have to be based on truth and logic and some universal and eternal principle. I think that would have to be the case if I were running the system. It would be great to have a kind of national credit system where you can measure the quality of the government of each nation. But how is that to be measured? Well, I haven't thought that. I haven't even begun to think it through. So I guess it would be well, it's nice to know that Connops wasn't the one who gave me a strike. I didn't think it made sense since I'm so entertaining and he likes to appear on my stream, so why would he be nuking me? The thing about people who are terrified of having their channels nuked is that, I mean, I've been watching, I'm on Millennial Woes, his Telegram group, and what I see is just regurgitation of his old stuff. So he obviously managed to keep all his old stuff, and then he's just pumping them out again. And I just think, well, it's probably better that I don't do that in case you catch me pumping up my old stuff when I should be talking about new stuff, new relevant stuff. I think most people know what I think from from time to time, I do put out my views in more than one form of media. If you're interested in what the detail of what I think, you can find me on Gab and Facebook. If you want the real nitty-gritty of my thinking, you'll get it from my blogs. So you can always try and understand me better by reading what I actually write instead of what I just talk about. I sometimes do misspeak. I listen over streams I've just done, and I thought, oh, I used the wrong word. I meant to say yes when I actually said no. I left a word out. It happens. So I think the best thing to do is go to my blogs, and what I try to do is go over what I say and try to summarize what I did say in my streams on my blogs. So that is really the best way of keeping up with my current thinking. I think it helps for me to go over what I said and think to myself, how could I have expressed it better, or even recognize that I have misspoken and used the wrong word and said yes when I meant no. It does happen, I'm certainly not anti-good government. I'm anti-bad government. Anyway, according to this article on social credit system, 80% of respondents either somewhat approved or strongly approved of social credit scores. So I really like the idea of an Islamic credit, an Islamic social credit system. I mean, obviously, if you had illegitimate offspring, that would be a big no-no, and that would just, well, would just be a sex offender forever, right? Unless you get round to marrying the other parent of your illegitimate offspring and legitimize them in this way. I'm really quite taken by the idea of scores. I mean, the Christians had a form of social credit in a way, when they talked about different kinds of sin, like mortal sin and venial sins and 7 deadly sins. And of course, the Torah has, well, it's got a list of 36 capital offences, so you can deduce that if you've done something that would result in a capital, in a death penalty, then obviously it's a very bad thing. But then with the Jews, it could be breaking the Sabbath, and then you get stoned to death. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was there's this annoying person that I'm talking to about religion. Maybe I'll do it in a different stream. I think I'll do that. I don't want to mix it all up. So, has everybody more or less gone now? Just 2 watching. Tut tut. Well, you can tell the others, can't you? 2 people watching. All right, I'll finish here. Thank you very much for coming by, and do let the others know where I am now until for the next 2 weeks. I won't be able to live stream for 2 weeks. Thanks, people.